What is up, homies? Christian back again with the Twin Sons action figure close-up, and today I have for us the Hasbro 6-inch Black Series Jar Jar Binks. And as you can see here, that he is a deluxe figure. You can tell by the wider packaging and stuff, which is alright, I suppose, because we get some cool accessories here, but let's see if he actually warrants the additional $30. Phantom Menace is yellow. You can see here they seem to be a fan of that yellow, goldy bronze, because the Mandalorian has a very similar color as well. And I'm pretty sure the Clone Wars does too. It says here, Jar Jar Binks. Let's see the figure on the side right here. And on this side, we can see some artwork of Jar Jar looking kind of plain and sort of just vacant for what we expect out of Jar Jar. Not smiling or looking goofy in any way. It's looking pretty seriously. On Tatooine, we can tell by the background there. On the back, a clumsy, well-meaning Gungan outcast on Naboo, Jar Jar Binks struggled to prove his worth throughout his life. Poor Jar Jar. That bio just makes it sound kind of sad. He is number 1 in the Phantom Menace, and what a way to start off the Phantom Menace lineup with Jar Jar, who we've been clamoring for a while now, or at least I've been clamoring for one after Figure Arts revealed theirs. And Hasbro teasers around the same time. I've been waiting for a Jar Jar figure. Because as a kid, I used to love Jar Jar. I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I guess I was just that perfect age when he came out. But enough of the plastic prison. Let's free him and see what we actually came here for. Alright, and here's Jar Jar free from his plastic prison. And, you know, this is a great figure off the bat. But I mean, we'll start off the video with, let's say, an airing of grievances. This expression is really boring. For Jar Jar, where he's always smiling or laughing or has some sort of wacky face on him, it's a very, very boring expression. Even his eyes, he looks kind of dead inside. And I know he's an action figure, so they're soulless, but he's looking particularly soulless and dead inside. But you can see in the eyes, the expressionless, dead eyes, they do look amazing. You can see they put those little black lines and dots all over the yellow on the inside and the pupil on the very inside. The eyes look great. They're just expressionless completely. It looks like a wax figure you'd find in a museum. The skin looks very good. You can see here on the back of his head here. It'll render in. Here we go. They did some texturing here. They did a wash there. They sculpted his ear flaps very, very well. The paint job very nice on it. It goes from that deep orange, red orange, down to this yellow. As his actual skin would get thinner and stuff. They painted the little black tips on every single end. Sculpted in like that bone ribbing in there. Looks very good. They put all the wrinkles on the back of the head too. Back of the neck, I should say. Down there and stuff. The head looks very good. The color is spot on. The yellow mouth, the yellow white mouth, I should say, goes into that darker orange on his face. The yellow on his neck and stuff. It's just very bland expression. He's not a stoic warrior. He's Jar Jar Binks. Moving on though, his arms really well done. I really like. It's not sculpted in. It's not textured at all, which is okay. But this paint job is immaculate. Let's get it closer to the camera. Like so, I can see why this is a deluxe figure based off the paint apps here alone. This is a lot to do. I don't know how they do it, if they just have a template they just spray on, or if it's done by hand, so every figure is different. All I know is that it looks really good. A very nice paint app on the arms. It's not even textured, but it looks textured. It looks like it has a different feel to it, which is really nice. The body, Jar Jar's costume in episode 1 is pretty bland, pretty plain, but that's all right. They did a good job translating it. They got the vest. I like how the vest is a little bit crooked. At least brings in a little bit of the clumsiness and sort of funness of Jar Jar. You know, he's wearing his vest crooked and stuff. Head doesn't express it, but it's nice it comes out a little bit there. Got that under tunic. It's almost like a leotard onesie or something that he wears underneath because it's just all one piece. They did a good job translating the wrinkles. The stitching on the side looks really nice right here. As you can see, I don't know why, but we're back to that double jointed knees. You can see the pins there. But Hasbro always does a great job sculpting fabric. See the wrinkles there, the stitching there. He has this, I mean, I never even know what to call this little half skirt thing that he wears in the movie. It is a separate piece, so you can turn it to your choosing. If you want to try to use it to hide some joints in photography or something, you can turn it to where you want it to be. His feet are honestly something I never paid attention to in the movie. And I'm kind of horrified. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the feet look fine. They're sculpted great. But I never really looked at Jar Jar's feet and his little nubby little toes and his giant toenails. He's only got 3, and how big his ankles are. I've never really paid attention to that. So kind of funny that Hasbro actually took the time to try to go in there and make the feet look like how they would. But a little horrifying at the same time. I guess it makes sense that Jar Jar wouldn't wear shoes. He's Jar Jar, but I kind of wish he did wear shoes now. So, overall, he looks really good. The paint app is amazing. The sculpting is all really on point and stuff. You can see they sculpted in some texture here on his vest as well. The head sculpt, everything is really good. Expression is just a little bland. Now let's go over his articulation, which I think he's shining pretty well on the articulation side, especially from the shoulders up, because he's got a dumbbell joint down here and a joint at the base of his head, so he can look up and down. Let me tilt it right here. Right here, you can see just this upper part is moving, but he can also move around down here. So you can nail, you know, the inquisitive poses and stuff. He just looks so bored. He has no facial expression whatsoever, and it's kind of killing the rest of the figure. I really, really wish they gave him an inquisitive face, a smiling face, a laughing face. This, you know, when you tilt it to the side and then tilt this up, he's just like, what are you doing? That's all his expression gives. It's just like annoyed look. It's annoyed to be here almost. I don't know. I don't really know how to put it. But the articulation is great. It's all the way down. You can look up even with these ears. Because of that joint at the bottom there, you can move the ears way back and he can look up. As you saw, he goes side to side. You can get his head and neck in any position that Jar Jar would be able to reach in the movie, which is really nice. Shoulders come up to 90, go all the way around. We have a swivel at the elbow. The elbow gets up to 90 degrees. Single jointed elbows. This wrist, side to side, which is, I mean, you guys know how I feel about that at this point. A little disappointing. Other arm, obviously all the same. Go over there, go over that. This wrist as well, side to side, which, oof, you can see what it's like if you get in really close on that side. Does not look too good right there. They did not paint the joint all the way through. And this side though, as you can see, doesn't really matter because the inside of his forearm is pretty white yellowy. For his torso, let's get his arms out of the way. Swivel left, swivel right. A little bit of leaning action going on there. Not too much crunch in either direction. A little bit of forward. More back. I've noticed figures usually can get back more than forward for some reason. But yeah, pretty much no forward at all, because that pretty much looks like he's standing straight. For his hips, this does hinder his articulation a little bit, I've noticed. His hips get out to like 45. That is seeming to be the new standard with Black Series figures nowadays. It's just getting out to 45. Thigh swivel on both of the legs. And it's nice because his pants are all a solid color, so you can thigh swivel all day, any day, and it's not going to mess up the look of anything because there's no more stitching that goes up on that side there. Stitching ends at the thigh swivel. Double jointed knees are back. So for those of you who like to get that full range, you got that full range, but at what cost? So we got those ugly knees back. Little disappointing to see. I would not have minded just the 90-degree bend of a single jointed knee and not looking like this, but it's all right because at least this one looks really good. When he's standing straight, those knees are hidden perfectly. And even on this big ankle, we have the standard Hasbro rocking and swivel. So that's looking good there. And he does come with accessories, as you guys saw in the package. He comes with no fun joking accessories. I guess he's got a warrior's face, so he comes with warrior accessories. Hold up. Guess I'm the one acting like Jar Jar with all the clumsiness right there. Well, that's all right. We just put the Death Star back together. I guess that's what happens when Jar Jar gets into the Death Star. He starts messing things up. So, he does come with warrior accessories, as you guys saw in the packaging. So I guess that matches the face he's been making in this figure. The first thing he comes with is the Gungan staff, which is so long I need to hold it all the way back here for you guys to see the entirety of it. But it is pretty plain. The entire thing is molded in this like golden yellow plastic. There are handles on it, which are painted brown. Nice sculpting on the handles. I really like that little ribbing there. Got some dots there at the bottom. Got some little dots in here sculpted in. Looks very clean, very crisp. You can see there's a little bit of sculpt work on the gold there. A little sculpt work on the gold right there. And then down here, it's got almost like a pointed end to it. I do not know what these are called, to be honest. So if you do know, let me know in the comments down below. And how well does he hold it? Holds it very well. Unfortunately, that side-to-side grip, but as you can see, it is not going anywhere. And I gotta say, he looks pretty good holding it. I guess once you put some weapons in the hand, it makes the face a lot better. And I guess if they wanted to go for almost like an army builder, I wouldn't, obviously it's Jar Jar, but if you wanted to make a Gungan army, you could easily pick up a lot of these and paint it up, and you'd have a Gungan army there. Maybe throw on some custom accessories on them to differentiate them. So maybe that's what they were going for. It would be nice to see a Jar Jar that has a fun face, but the face at least works when he's holding these weapons. The next accessory he comes with is the Boom Boom Thrower. This might be one of my favorite accessories he comes with. That translucent blue plastic really reflects off the night very nicely. The sculpt work on the handle just looks really nice. You guys can see how they multiple layered. They like ribbing right there. All three sides looks very good. It comes down here into that little like slant work right there. Looks very nice. Bring the light down on it here. And you guys can see the pommel, very nicely detailed. It has that little like, I can't even really tell what sort of insignia it is, but they try to put something there in the bottom. Looks very good. I really like the Boom Boom Thrower. That translucent blue plastic is really what gets me though. It just looks so nice in the light. Translucent enough to let the light shine through it, but not enough that you can see what's behind it. How does he hold that? This one seems to be a little tougher to get in the hand. There you go. He's holding that pretty well. Pretty good looking grip on that too. Not as perfect as the staff, but this one is a little bit thicker in his hand, so I get it. Looks very good though. He's definitely holding that on a shelf, maybe holding it up, some sort of like war pose. Unfortunately, you can't really get him to angle his wrist down because of the way the wrist is. I don't know why they decided to go side to side for all the wrists and not just the left one. And as far as the last accessory, we get the energy shield, which, I mean, just look how cool that looks with Jar Jar behind it. This energy shield looks really dope. Really, really like that plastic, the purple plastic on it. Translucent, and the way it like bends, it kind of distorts what's behind it. I would like to see full size like shield generator of these. I would totally buy that. I'm sure I'm not the only one. This purple, oh my gosh, just look at this. It's magnificent. I want to buy a bunch of Jar Jars just so I can get all these shields. But you can see there's a little bit of detailing on here. They put some grip there on the, some grip on the grip. Right there, that looks good. They put some like attachments right there. You can see there's two, like the metal's wrapping around it 2 times to really secure it on there. This, just the purple though, looks so good. Let's see how well he holds up. This left hand looks like it was made to hold a shield, just because of how it was more gripped. I don't know how he's supposed to hold it. He can't hold it too well, to be honest. You guys can see that I am struggling here to get him to have a hold of this. This is really, really tough. There we go. He's holding it now. But he doesn't hold it too well. I'm gonna be honest here. That wrist joint doesn't really allow him to hold it. What they needed is like a swiveling here. So he could swivel it up like that. He has to hold it really weird to get it like that. No one holds a shield like that. You'd hold it like this to get a better grip on it. But he does hold it. It's a bit tall. Could have just been like a few centimeters shorter. It keeps wanting to hit the ground. Not really sit well, but almost acts as a little tripod, making the figure easier to stand. So for how awesome this shield looks, it's kind of disappointing how he can't really hold it too well. It's kind of hindered because of the articulation and just the clunkiness of the shield. They could have put a swivel or maybe a second handle. I think a swivel would have been best right there though. I mean, we are paying the extra $10 for this to be a deluxe figure. So, I mean, while the paint app on the figure was great and everything, it would have been nice to see that thrown in for the higher price point as well. But it doesn't look too terrible, as you can see here. Sort of just casually holding it, boom boom thrower. Overall, we waited a long time for Jar Jar. Obviously, everyone's going to have their mixed opinions about Jar Jar. Keep the hate out of the comments, please. A lot of people like us like Jar Jar. We're really excited for this figure to come out. The only problems is, for number one, that face. I know I sound like a broken record this entire time. Kind of apologize for that. But at the same time, it really needs to be addressed that face could have been done way better. And the shield are really the only two things. That shield looks amazing. It looks 12 out of 10. But there's really no good way for him to hold it and actually look like he's going to use it for defending himself. The only way he can hold it is sort of just in a museum pose like this. But other than those two things, if you're trying to fill out your Phantom Menace collection that's in 6-inch scale, obviously you're going to need a Jar Jar for it. So I definitely recommend picking him up. It would be really nice in the future to see maybe Hasbro doesn't really do this for Star Wars, they do it for Marvel Legends. It'd be cool to see another figure that comes with an alternative Jar Jar head. Maybe like a Sebulba figure were to come out eventually. It'd be cool to have like Jar Jar when he's shot out his tongue to grab the little creature that Sebulba's gonna eat and stuff. It'd be cool for something like that, or maybe if we ever get a Padme handmaiden figure or something like that, it can come with an alternate face. I would like to see an alternate head come out, and I would like to see it in a way that I don't have to buy a second Jar Jar figure. But other than those two things, I do recommend this figure. The paint app on it is really well done. The head and neck just a 2 dumbbell system like that works very well. The sculpting on the figure is really well done. The paint app, I mean, the grand scheme of things, the head is not too big of a deal because he does look good as a warrior. He looks dignified like this, like it's the final battle and he's waiting. So it's all right, but you're never going to be able to put him in some fun photography messing around. The shield, you can make it work. It's just a little bit tricky, but you'll be able to make it work. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys have this figure. Till next time, may the force be with you.